Hope bigger than a hell ring. Looks like we hurt on the decks. Glover hold the court and give the chief no suspect. Politics in the mix, like Gumbo Stewart Rich. Spinning tales from Black Wall Street, real life's the pitch. Doni Glover Show, be more news. Doni Glover Show, be more news.
Welcome to BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth. How you doing, man?
Man, feeling well, man.
What's your name?
My name is Cardi Cornish.
And you a legend?
I'm a legend.
You're a legend here in Baltimore City. Where we at right now?
We live in the 17, Pennsylvania Avenue. The legendary Pennsylvania Avenue.
Man, the last time I saw you here, you were doing something just across the street here. What were you doing?
Oh yeah, I had some food left over from an event. We brung it out. We fed a couple of people, man.
Why you do that?
Nice soul food.
Why you do that?
Man, the love that God has shown me in Christ, man, it overflows. That's how it overflows.
That's right.
We got more than we can use. We got more than we can handle ourselves. We try to let it flow. Let it flow to the next person.
Yeah. We're proud of you, man.
Thank you.
And we're proud of your son.
Thank you.
You're watching BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth.
Business sticks hotter than lava. Got that Mathis touch. Stocks and blocks teaching youngins how to clutch. Ears to the concrete, finger on the pulse, dropping wisdom like Hova. Each word a joke. Doni Glover Show, be more news. 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 Walls painted black, history on lock. Blast off from Tulsa, rebirth like a clock. Markets rising from ashes to days. Doni the narrator, truth runs in veins. Doni Glover Show, be more news. Doni Glover Show, be more news. Doni Glover Show, be more news. Doni Glover Show, be more news.
I was getting a little too creative in the background there. Top of the morning to you. Welcome to the Doni Glover Show. I wrote this book, I Am Black Wall Street. There we go. And one of the cities that we touch in here is, well, actually one of the states is Louisiana. And as some of you may know, we did the Black Wall Street in New Orleans last week. All that to say, the name Henry Adams came up. And if you know anything about Louisiana, very, very interesting state. And they say Louisiana ain't, New Orleans ain't Louisiana, and Louisiana ain't New Orleans. New Orleans is a place of its own. But here to talk about it is former Be More News creative director, videographer, turned entrepreneur, Corey Mathis. We call him Bing.
What's up with you, Donnie?
The Bingster. How you doing? I know this is early for you.
Doing all right. I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Gotta get some beignets. We got beignets.
Oh yeah, them beignets. New Orleans breakfast.
New Orleans breakfast. That's the pastry with the powdered sugar and the butter.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. I can only imagine what it do for a hangover. What it do for a hangover?
Hey, that line be long in the morning. You know, New Orleans like to drink, so New Orleans love to drink.
All right, so we had the Black Wall Street down there last week. What'd you think?
Oh man, it was nice. People still talking about it. It actually spawned some other things too. So since then, we putting together an organization of Black businesses, you know, and it's looking good. We got a bunch like businesses from all over, man. We starting to put together a Black Wall Street, somewhat of a 2025 digital green book. So when people come in, they know, hey, this is the black businesses to go to. You know, that Sunday, you know, Deshanta, who was on the show, how she was saying, oh, everybody come out to her 1-year anniversary and stuff, and she had Dr. Umar there, and he touched on that thing a little more, and then the rest of the businesses that was there, everybody was like, all right, we got to do something. There's 2 times in a row. We had Donnie here bringing the Black Wall Street to us, and it got a lot of black businesses together, and then he followed up with more of the same type of talk. And so since then, we've been on Zoom calls and putting this thing together. And so next time you come down to New Orleans, we will have a whole network of black businesses, one-stop shop, where anything, any goods or services you're looking for, you'll be able to buy black very easily. You know what I mean? So, man, that, you just don't know. That Black Wall Street kicked off a whole new thing down here where all the businesses, black businesses, is coming together. So, definitely.
I want to take a moment and thank you publicly for the hospitality that you and your team showed me in New Orleans. I need to get a picture of the young brothers and the young sister who work in your shop, so we can do some thank yous to them. But thank you for the hospitality. Thank you for the rides. I know the West Bank is not right next door to the airport.
Oh man, it ain't nothing. You already know how we do. We gonna make everything happen that we want to happen.
Well, we don't want to take any of that for granted. You know, I've tried to share with people what I felt in New Orleans, and I was sure about it. The first time, the second time, it was like, there's no mistaking. I could feel the ancestors talking to me. I don't know if that's crazy talk, but there's a spirit in New Orleans where the ancestors are like yelling, telling us to wake the hell up.
Well, you're not the only person to say it. I've been there so long. I don't know. Maybe I don't. You know, it's not like people coming in from the outside. You know what I mean? It's an everyday thing for us to be there. You know what I'm saying? But it probably take a more of an outside perspective to make you see it. You know what I mean? See it, but definitely the people definitely in tune with something. Is a whole vibe, a different spirit of the people itself. You know what I mean? And they definitely talked that back in the day stuff. So you know, you may be correct. Like I say, sometimes it takes somebody from standing outside to tell you what's really going on inside.
Bro, them ancestors in New Orleans are screaming, especially when we are aware of the significance of New Orleans in the shaping of America.
Yeah, man.
One thing that sticks out is that compared to Baltimore, well, let's put it the other way around. Compared to New Orleans, Baltimore is up north.
Oh, definitely. You know, we're down at the bottom. Everything is north to us.
Yeah, and not all things north get respect in New Orleans.
I'm not gonna say that. New Orleans is a respectful place, but we don't now respect it as being the South. Nah, we ain't saying he's the South. But when you're at the bottom, and nobody is the South to you. You're at the bottom, and when you take one more step, you swimming in the Gulf. You know what I mean? So everything up top, everything above us. So when they say you from down south, you know how people say you from down. You say no, you ain't from down south. I'm from down south. You know what I mean? Because I'm a little further down than you. But we respect everybody. You know, with some things we just like, nah, that ain't it. Cause we down south. You know
One thing New Orleans is aware of is a house Negro.
Oh man. I look, you know they gonna call it out. They gonna call it out. He ain't playing.
I'll tell you something else I learned. I didn't know this. The Gullah Geechee culture. Now my mindset, maybe I read too much. My mindset was that is the Georgia, South Carolina coast.
Mm-hmm.
But I have learned that off of the coast of Louisiana, there's also the Gullah Geechee culture.
Well, I tell you this, you learned something I never knew. I gotta grab my card. My phone look like it's getting weak down here. But yeah, you learned something I never knew. One thing in New Orleans, I never heard of. I've always heard it in North Carolina talk, but I never heard of no Gullah Geechee. But up in North Carolina, now I've heard people use the word Geechee. You know what I mean? But we don't really call it that. New Orleans don't really call it that. But
something else that was the Al Jackson brought out.
Oh yeah,
he brought out. Well, first of all, he's the curator of the Treme Museum, but he reiterated, he highlighted the interconnection of Haiti and New Orleans.
Right. And that's another thing. See, Mr. Al old school, and he, like you say, he curated a museum. He knows a lot of those connecting things that a person like me would not know. You know what I mean? And because it's not really discussed like that, but if you get down into the history, you talking to the right one, Mr. Al. He know the history of all that stuff, and even with the Haiti thing, you know, the connection is there. But the average person in New Orleans is walking around. You say something, oh yeah, man, y'all in Haiti. They're gonna look at you and say, I don't know. I just met some Haitians for the first time. You know what I mean? So, and remember speaking with Mr. Al, he made me know that hey, it ain't that we're Haitian, that New Orleans is Haitian. It was the same Africans that stopped in Haiti, then they brought them here and brought them there. So our connection to Haiti is really through Africa. That hey, the same culture was there because it was the same Africans. You know what I mean? That they stopped there and then they stopped here. So now that I said, okay, now I see what they talking about. But it seemed like some of the Haitian, some of the military arms from back then were from Haiti. Once they got there and established, all came through here as well. So, you know what I mean?
So if you're just tuning in, we're talking with Corey Mathis. He's the owner of Two Phat Vegans. Wonderful restaurant. And I tell you, Corey, I done put that vegetarian gumbo on ice, and I can't wait to peel it back out. I could have sworn this gumbo had meat in it. It was that good. I mean, it was ooh. Ooh, now the crawfish etouffee, I think I would have liked the shrimp etouffee a little bit better, but them beignets just eased it on down. The beignets and the coffee with the hickory in it.
Chicory, yeah, the chicory.
Chicory dock. Okay, chicory. Yeah, that part.
The chicory. Yeah, I'm not a big coffee drinker, but people swear by it, that the chicory makes the difference. You know what I mean? So,
tell them about this restaurant you got in the French Quarter, man. Now, I didn't know you got one of two black businesses in the French Quarter. Talk about the significance of a black-owned business in the French Quarter, in the FQ.
Oh man, being in the French Quarter as a restaurant, for one, you in restaurant heaven. I mean, there's more restaurants in them couple of blocks, probably than anywhere else on the planet. Not just restaurants, award-winning restaurants. You know what I mean? Famous restaurants with cuisine from all over the place. So, being in the French Quarters, man, I never dreamed that, hey, I'm gonna have a restaurant in the French Quarters and all. Like a lot of restaurateurs, they want it. You know what I mean? They like, oh, one day that's their aim. And I tell you, I had the two on the West Bank moving, and then I really just lucked upon that one. I went to look at another location. I went shopping at a location, and it looked exactly like a place that I did a pop-up that invited me to do a pop-up at. And the lady was like, yeah, we got space over there at the other one, and the one you was at, and they was like, yeah, we connected. Going over. That's what I'm going over there and look, talking with that lady. She was like, some people down the street just moved out of a place. You should really see this one. So she walked me down there, and it was on from there.
A white lady put you on?
Yeah, man. She put me on there. Once she showed me that, and I'm always asking. And when I ask, that's the main lesson for people. The thing to take away, right? The biggest takeaway. I'm always hearing, oh man, it's an arm and leg. They want an arm and a leg to go in there. You know what I mean? That's where this is prime real estate. That's gonna be expensive and this and that, right? But I always ask anyway. Yeah, how much? Then and that's how I set goals. Like, man, if it costs $5,000 to go in there, one day I could set something and have a goal, have something to pitch to. But when I went in there, they showed me so much love, man. Unbelievable. I probably got the lowest rent in the French Quarter. For my location, definitely. And it all came from me just asking, you know what I mean? Hey, what you gonna do with this? How much is that? And not letting people talk me out of the fear. People, man, you go over there, man, you don't know what's gonna happen till you ask them. And I just asked at the right time. Other people was just moving out. The guy was like, man, it'd be great to have you in. And the person was like, man, I really wanted something like this. What you got to be here. Wow. I mean, it was like something just led me right to there. Like, this is going to be your spot.
Holy Spirit, man.
Man, if that's what it was, thank you, Holy Spirit, because guess what?
Hey, I want to touch on that. We talk about the Holy Spirit, but you showed me that church. What's the name of that church? And I ain't putting nobody out there, but the church where the slave auctions took place.
Around the St. Louis Cathedral.
Now, people don't even know that. People don't even know it's because there's you can feel the energy right there. And maybe that's what I'm talking about when I tell you I can feel the ancestors. You telling me that's where they were selling Africans.
But it's nothing new about that. And when you go to the door of no return, they show you where they was housing them right underneath the church. The dungeons was underneath the church. So, the church was a major player in this thing,
And this was the Catholic church.
Oh yeah. The church was powerful, man. The church was powerful.
Y'all hear that? You look at that chessboard, they got a bishop on that chessboard. That bishop, he is not an innocent bystander. He ain't talking about Salama, he ain't talking about peace, hotel. He talking about sell them slaves and sell them enslaved Africans, huh?
Wasn't that the whole thing that was supposedly give them the right to enslave you if you wasn't part of their religion, and you was
If you're a savage, then you
yeah,
deserve
you a savage
slavery.
and uncivilized, and you was
And
able
these
to
people
be
gonna teach
enslaved.
somebody about Christianity.
Yeah. So yeah, man. But yeah, and then there, and also Congo Square, you know.
Congo Square.
It was one of the markets they had, but they allowed where they allowed the blacks to have their day where they partied and played their drums and all that stuff. So, and it's still led to the day. That's what they do there too. They play the drums and stuff, man. Yeah. So
I gotta touch on Miss Doreen.
oh,
Doreen the
ooh,
jazz.
she is
The
awesome.
lady on the clarinet.
Man, she awesome. I've been looking for her. I'm trying to get her in front of my place. I know she play in front of Rouse's, the grocery store and stuff. Just it Miss Doreen is a whole host of street musicians out here in New Orleans that man is unbelievable. But Miss Doreen is definitely she is special, bro. You get a chance to hear her, man. You just got caught one of the best concerts of your life, just walking down the street. Her
One of
voice,
my favorite
ooh,
musicians is from your neck of the woods, Wynton Marsalis. But I think I was told that they don't say Marsalis down there, they say Marsai.
well, I say Marcellus.
Mhm.
But people got different accents is different and strange all within itself, you know. I
Well,
tell
I
you
love
what,
me some Wynton Marsalis. He's got to be one of the most intellectual musicians that we have.
well, right. As you seen, these musicians, they homegrown, man, from the street, man. They start off in the street playing as little kids with a hat out and a horn in their hand. It's something to see when, like, you see all the little kids walking down the street with instruments in their hands, and they can't wait to play. You know what I mean? And they ain't waiting to get on or ask you nothing. They pop up on the corner, them and their friends, and they have a whole all out jam session. So if people who come to New Orleans, they know, hey, you get in them streets. Some of them big musicians know, hey man, you mess around in the streets, you gonna run into some 10-year-old little kid that's the next thing, you know what I mean? These boys take that instrument serious, man. Second line up and down the street, and it goes down, bro. It's a place where if you're a musician, this is this is where you want to be. You know what I mean? You want to learn from these guys. Just like what's your guy, Harry Connick Jr. People say Harry Connick Jr. He is awesome, and he is. He's a bad boy. But look who his daddy was, the DA, and he learned up under all of the greats. He hung around all the greats as a kid. He learned all these instruments from all the top musicians. This is how he could play and know music like that. You know what I mean? You see pictures of him as a kid. He was under all the great musicians. You know? Yeah, man.
Shout out to Louis Sansmo Armstrong.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, that's something, right? People never know what they spawn, right? Like you came down, we did this thing and kicked off a whole thing. So imagine those folks, man. Louis Armstrong inspiring a whole multiple generations of horn players, brother. I know you got a chance to talk to my boy Chance. Yeah, I don't think you got a chance to hear him play. He's awesome. And that's a talented brother. That boy sing, play the horn, and tap dance all in one show at the same time, bro. This man is awesome. But here's something you may not have noticed. Next time you down, pay attention to people's lips, right? People who play that horn, they got like a little dimple across their lip right here. That's from pressing they mouth to that horn. So when you if you really when you're talking to people and you see that little dimple, sometimes it's light, sometimes it's really pronounced. You know what I mean? Look right at the top of their lip, and you're gonna find out. You'll know. Oh, no, this guy's a horn player. You
Corey,
know,
speaking of determination, you have been wanting to build a restaurant for a minute. Any words of encouragement or advice to people who have been thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking about their dream? Any thoughts on turning that thought into action?
yeah, man. The only thing I can say is start. What spawned me to wanting to build a restaurant is when I developed the ulcer, and then I had to change my eating habits from eating meat to being a vegan, which actually healed me. I had no desire to become a vegan, you know. I was the person to tease all the vegans till I got that health scare. And then I'm like, oh man, I could not heal it, couldn't figure it out. And then my mother turned me on to Dr. Sabi, and he was saying, oh, the animal blood is corrupting your blood, and you know, only eat alkaline-based fruits and vegetables. And when I did it, it healed me after suffering with it for 2 years, and it came out the blue, right? I was in my 40s when that happened, you know, late 30s, came out the blue. And then once I did listen to what he said, it, after suffering with it for 2 years, it healed me in less than 30 days. So I'm like, man, I'm done.
Why they call it two fat vegans?
Yeah, man. The two is because it makes it inclusive. If I was one fat vegan, you might think I was weird. But if it's two of us, make you feel included. You know what I mean? Make the other fat vegans say, well, maybe I could join. There's two of them, and be three of them. People always walk by and laugh and say, I'm fat and I'm a vegan. They come on in. They love it. You know what I mean? So it was just a name choice that I thought would be more inclusive sounding, you know? And for is building a restaurant thing, right? When I started, I had nothing, you know. I just had the desire to do it because there was nowhere for me to eat once I became vegan, right? I remember telling them, listen, go talk to the people, tell them I want to rent the building. She was saying, oh, rent the building, man, how you gonna do that, man? I said, don't worry about that. Just tell the people I want to rent the building. She talked to the people and they said, okay. So I paid the rent on the building, right? I had no money to actually do a restaurant like that. So what I did, I went back to work, brought a little bit of material, brought it home, right? Went back to work, brought some more, because I was working on the road. So every time I come home, I would buy something, but I paid the rent. So then I had the material for then when I come home, I work on it. I did this for almost a year, well, over a year actually. And then right when I was getting close, COVID hit. So, you know, people say, man, you know, a new vegan spot the whole time I'm building. They just opened a new one. They opened a new one here. I said, I'm no worries. When I open, I'm not going to close. You know what I mean? And then when COVID hit, we lost almost all the ones we opened. Now, keep in mind, I was in position before that COVID thing that I was building, though. Building. So finally, I had enough and did enough to open. It was after COVID. I opened. I haven't been closed since.
How many people you got working for you there?
Right now, I might have about 7 people. Yeah, man.
Give that man a round of applause, y'all. I saw that one little young lady that worked there. She was walking to work, and I saw her do easily an 8-hour shift, standing on her head. No problem, right there. What does it mean to the young people, do you think, to have a job there?
It's good. She goes to Alcorn State. She been with me for a long time, man. That girl, she didn't close that thing and ran it by herself. What if she was the only one in there before? She been with me a long time. So when she went to school, and when she home for the summer break, she know I got her. She got a spot over there whenever she home. She's also a horn player, you know. She bring her horn. I tell you what was so good. She gets to bring her horn to work, right? She brings it with her. She practicing there. She go sit outside and take a break. She out there practicing. She come in and said, I made $15 just sitting there practicing because people were so accustomed to hearing his music, hearing him and giving a street, you play on the street, they give people walk by and give you some money. So I said, well, she come and she get to practice at work amongst all the street musicians and stuff. So that was a good thing. I like to see her hone in her craft like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, man.
Speaking of artists, you told me that New Orleans wasn't all that thrilled not having Weezy perform at the Super Bowl. People still got some thoughts about that, huh?
Yeah, people wanted to see it, man. Everybody just thought, hey, that would have been a great honor for him to do it. Him being such a big sports fan, and it's fine. It's in New Orleans, and it just made sense. But I guess other people, the powers that be, had another agenda. But he came to Jazz Fest right after that and tore it down. I mean, he tore it down. And he also was on the stage. He had the Roots band with him. So the Roots performed and he performed. And before they came on, it's a local group. These Grammy Award winning, this whole Grammy Award winning group, a lot of people don't know, I guess, called Tank and the Bangers. If you get a chance to listen to some music, Google Tank and the Bangers. Man, this girl is awesome. Awesome.
Tank and the Bankers?
Tank and the Bangers. You want to hear some good music? Yeah, man. And she got a tiny
bangers, like
bangers. Yep.
Bang somebody.
Yep. She got a Tiny Desk out there too. If you look on YouTube and watch on Tiny Desk, she did an awesome job on that too.
How is New Orleans coming along since the Katrina? And that's been what? Shucks.
Well, they got a 20-year anniversary coming up.
15 years?
20 years.
It's been 20 years.
A 20-year anniversary is actually coming up. And they having all type of big functions for that. So, and that should be, when is that? Maybe it's September or something.
20 years. My God, the last time I was there was 10 years ago. We ain't been there in 10 years.
10 years ago. How'd you like seeing Cornetta Reb become Dr. Reb in that time? In 20 years, bro. Remember that, having her on the show after Katrina, and they was all, man, then lost everything. And they on there telling you how they went through the Superdome and had to ride down the street on a piece of roof and, all the scary stuff going on. And now that you see her 20 years later, she's Dr. Reb.
And still married. And yeah. So you see, Grady, you see the comment there?
No, I can't see any of the comments.
It says the Hot Boy reunion was classic.
Oh man, yes indeed. Yes indeed. That was classic.
Well, what was that?
He talking about the Lil Wayne and the Hot Boys. They came out as the Hot Boys before he was a solo act, Lil Wayne. And everybody dismantled and went their separate ways, but people been wanting to see a reunion of that, and it happened. Yeah, man. So, yeah, that was another good thing. So everybody thought they was going to get a touch of that for the Super Bowl before the actual reunion thing, you know what I mean? And you asked me, the NFL, they dropped the ball on that one. I love Kendrick now, don't get me wrong. I think he's an incredible artist, but you could have did a Kendrick show anywhere. But to do a Lil Wayne show in New Orleans on Super Bowl, that would have been crazy. They lost big with that one. They would have been a lot bigger. You know what I mean? But
so we covered Tremaine, we done covered the street musicians, we talked a little bit about the food, the history. Anything else you want to touch on?
Yeah, man. All the footage is currently being edited. So you're gonna have a nice program coming out that show what was going on down here for the Black Wall Street, So we're gonna be on location at some businesses, and then you'll see some of the awards being given at the shop. at the restaurant. So,
Why is it important to you to support Black business?
oh man, it's very important to do that because we have so many businesses out here and people run to everybody else. We want to see them succeed. You know what I mean? We see all the other ethnic groups, businesses succeed, and they all making money off of us. You know, it'd be nice for some of us to make some money off of us. You know what I mean? Whenever you see the inventors of the culture, the actual people winning versus the people who imitating the people that's doing it. You know what I mean? It's always important. You know what I'm saying? Like if I want some Chinese food, it always tastes a little better when I go to the Chinese. You know what I mean? So when you got all these different things in Black business, you know what I'm saying? It's good to get it from the source. You know what I mean? And it always feel good when you turn around and you see, hey man, we do those things too. You know what I mean? And when people boycott, not they unknowingly boycotting. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, I ain't going out there. You know, no telling what they gonna do. No, we gonna do just what the other people gonna do. You know what I mean? We got people who do business just like everybody else do business. You know, remember like back in the days, I know people used to say, man, the Black people now, shoot, I need a white doctor. You know, I need a Jewish lawyer. You know what I mean? Hey man, we can do it too. We are the best of the best. You know. Not saying we the only ones that's the best, because it's good people in all, you know, all ethnic groups, but we are top tier too. You know what I mean? And I like to see some of these businesses survive. So without our support, that won't happen. You know what I mean? That's an important thing to do.
They want to know, has Master P done the Walk of Fame in New Orleans yet?
I believe they may have put one of them down. But it's an ongoing process, and they definitely gonna have it, and it's something that's needed because there's a lot of good musicians and actors and entertainers from New Orleans, and I think it's gonna be a good thing to see. You know, when I went to Hollywood and California, I went and took pictures next to a bunch of different stars that I like. You know what I mean? The people that I like to see. So to be able to come through New Orleans, and I can't wait till it's done, because sometimes, you know, you ever been somewhere and be like, man, what? I never knew that person was from New Orleans, and I'm from New Orleans. You know what I mean? So I can't wait to see who all get one, and then a lot of times there's a lot of history behind those older artists and stuff, and you just never knew they was from here. You know one person who was from here, who's from, you know, that I found out early in life, but I was like, what? Garrett Morgan. You remember him? Stan from Martin.
Stan from Martin?
Yeah, he from New Orleans, man. I remember my wife used to go to the hairdresser with his mother, you know, and yeah, I never knew that at the time, but yeah, man. Anthony Mackie from the Marvel series, Iron Man. He's the new Captain America, right? Captain America is from New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? It's born and raised. So I'm excited about that Walk of Fame, so I can actually go and see and learn some of the history of New Orleans and some of the great people that came from New Orleans. You know what I mean?
When I was there, they had some people who escaped from the city jail, I think you told me.
Oh, yeah. 11
Whatever
people.
happened to that young man? He said he was wrongly accused. He was set up.
Still on the run. It's him and one other that they never caught yet. So we still got two of them out there on the run. You know, that went weird real quick, because everybody, you know, you know how weird it is here in New Orleans. Once they got escaped, they actually start gambling on it. I mean, big money gambling, like $1,000. Who bet? You know, and you could double or flip your money. Who they gonna catch first, and all this kind of stuff, right? Now, I ain't a gambler, so I didn't partake in that. But the guy who you're speaking of, I for sure was like, oh yeah, he's gonna be the first one caught because he got tattoos all over his face. You know what I mean? Where could you go when you got all these cartoons and stuff drawn on your face and you know what I mean? I'm thinking he's definitely gonna get caught. How could you hide when you got a custom designed face? You know what I mean? But he's still out there, man. And then when he dropped the bombshell, he did the video saying, hey, look, here's the actual evidence that I should have never been in here. You know, and they railroaded me. I was like, oh, man, this story is just getting bigger and bigger, you know. And it's national news now. I said, man, if he is innocent, I hope him, you know, wish him the best. And that last move he did, he probably gonna get one of the best lawyers in town with all this publicity on it. You know, lawyers probably coming out the woodwork to help him because the publicity attached to it. Whereas though if he wouldn't have escaped, he'd have been lost in that system. You'd have never seen him or knew his story or heard of him. You know what I mean? So really weird stuff. He doing a lot of accusing of a lot of officials who seem to want to sweep him under the rug. But that boy ain't trying to stay under that rug. He ain't trying to stay under the rug, and I don't blame him, man.
All right, tell us what you got at that restaurant that you serve. What's there to eat there?
Oh, man, we got the best hot sausage sandwich on the planet. If you know anything about New Orleans, the hot sausage po' boy is like a Philly cheesesteak in Philly. You know what I mean? Not the taste or not the style, but it means the same thing the Philly cheesesteak means to Philly is what our hot sausage po' boy means to us, right? That's our number one seller. We have the best one on the planet. Meat version or not, the people who came out with it, recipe is not beating mine. And you can go on Google and read the reviews. It's a real spicy type sandwich, and a lot of the older people can't eat it anymore because of the grease and how the spice in it. But I have a vegan version of it that allowed him to eat it again. So then we got gumbo. Then I developed.
For those that don't know, a po' boy got typically hot sausage and potatoes.
No potatoes. The
potatoes?
Not at all. The po' boy is what you would call a sub or a hoagie. But ours is just on a long French bread, right? Like a long French bread, just like a sub sandwich. That's a po' boy, and you can make any type of po' boy. They make ham and cheese po' boys, shrimp po' boys, oyster po' boys. You know,
see, I learned something else. I thought it had potatoes in it.
No, indeed, no potatoes. Now I tell you something that you would like. You know, my father, he's been vegetarian all my life, right? So
I know he left me in Africa with no damn meat. I was meat in the heart of Africa.
So as a kid, it was one place down in New Orleans on Claiborne that he'll go to, and he knew that they sell potato salad, right? So he would go and get a potato salad and cheese po' boy dress. When they say dress, if somebody asks you want that same New Orleans, they say, how you want? You want it dressed? Dress means lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, you know, and all the condiments. If it's one that go with mustard, mayonnaise, and ketchup, that's gonna be on it. You know, if some sandwiches just don't get ketchup, depending on what it is. We ain't putting ketchup on the tuna fish. You know what I mean? But yeah, so we used to laugh out, but man, my brothers is like potato salad and cheese po' boy. I don't know if anybody else ever in the city ever even ordered it. He was the person who come in there and get that. They made that special for him. A potato salad and cheese po' boy dress. Now that's a weird. I might bring that on the menu and call it the Fraser. Cause my father, I never heard of it other than him eating that sandwich. You know.
Tell him what else your daddy do that ain't nobody heard of. in Africa?
Oh man, built orphanage village for kids who lost both parents to AIDS and HIV. It's going on 30 years. We've been out there building. We got the orphanage and a bread company now, serving bread all throughout Arusha. That's Tanzania.
I think I was in Africa a month after meeting your daddy.
Yeah, I remember keep telling you. You kept saying African. I'm saying, you want to go? You want to go? You look at me like you ignored me when I kept saying it. I took you one father. You could go now. I don't think you thought I was just blowing smoke for a second there. Till you really met him and found out, oh man, yeah, this thing is gonna and it happened.
When I took my malaria shots, I knew it was a reality.
Oh
Matter
yeah.
of fact, we did a fundraiser over there in East Baltimore at that restaurant. Malik Rockman put it together for me.
Right, and look,
Black Olive.
and I'm gonna tell you something. Something my father told you, that something he always say. Don't worry about the money. Remember that?
That's
and
what he
that's
said.
Don't worry about the money. Do you want to go?
The money came just like that.
And guess what? I take that approach in life on everything. That's how I got this restaurant. I did not worry about the money. I didn't ask where it was coming from. I didn't even think about it. All I thought about was what I wanted to do. And it happened. That's a good thing.
Y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that?
Don't
to my
worry about
students,
the money.
entrepreneurs, and people on the rise. Say it again, man.
Don't worry about the money. If this is something you want to do, focus on what you want to do. That money gonna come from places you never thought it would come from. If you're sitting back waiting, once I get this, then I'm gonna do this. Once I get enough money, it'll never happen. You gotta dive in that thing both feet and don't worry about the money. Just go in there with the mission on your mind, and it's gonna happen.
Because you got people with the money, but they don't have the vision or the motivation.
Right.
They got the money, but they don't have the vision or the motivation.
Right. Right.
So everybody might be short of something.
Yep.
Here you got the motivation and the vision, and you said, God give me the vision, God give me the provision.
Yep. Don't worry about the money. That's what
They said it's impossible to please God without faith. So kudos to you for stepping out there. I remember you talking about this restaurant for a long time.
Yeah, I was building it. You know, the first one, you know where the building started, right? The first thing when you start building, you build it in your mind first. Once you build it in your mind, and then you put it on paper, then you bring it to reality. But the building start in your mind.
If I think it, I can do it.
Oh yeah.
If I think I can, I can. If I think I can't, I can't.
That's it.
I think I can. African, not African.
You already know we think we could do all things.
Damn right.
Everything. So yeah, man. This was a real good trip, and I can't wait till you see some of the fruit from the seeds you left behind, brother. Cause this thing here is gonna be our business is coming together. And
did we start with prayer down there?
I don't. Maybe you did. I'm not sure if you did or not. I don't remember that portion of it, but you know, you may have.
Well, God, thank you for this wonderful Black Wall Street NOLA, our second event in New Orleans. Thank you for all of the people that came out. And thank you for Brother Corey and his family and friends that made sure that I enjoyed myself. Even had me riding around in the French Quarter on what was that?
Oh, my electric bike, man. Wasn't that fun? Yeah, you boy.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I was like a little kid. I was like a little kid.
Hey, man, I told you that bike's so much fun. You took off, I started getting word. They kept saying, he ain't come back yet. I said, he having fun. Then it went on a little longer. I said, oh, man. And when you pulled up where I was, getting in the car to start going look for you. I said, I knew it. Yeah, man.
I'm thinking everything is like a grid. Like
It
Six
is.
blocks down, 6 blocks that way. And something got a little funky.
Oh, yeah. Some of them streets is a grid, but you know, everything is running off the curve of the river. So sometimes the blocks get longer, shorter, and they mix things in.
You got to tell them about the mighty Mississippi.
Oh, man.
Y'all got to hear this story now. The whole tight. He can give you the
On the Mississippi River, like I was telling him, I call it the North American Superhighway. That river has always been there.
No, you didn't. The North American Indian Superhighway.
The Indian Superhighway, because that's who used it first. You know what I mean? The Indian Superhighway. That's how they got goods up and down from one place to another. That's how they traveled, you know, up and down that river. So now that other people came in and time went on, it's still the same thing. It goes all the way out to the mouth of the Gulf of Mexico. So that's the Gulf of America. I'm sorry, not Mexico. The Gulf of America. You get out through the Gulf. Of America,
it's the Gulf of Mexico.
No, it's the Gulf of America, brother. It's the Gulf of
I ain't
America.
getting into this with you.
Come on now. We gotta respect it. They changed the name. You gotta roll with it. With Muhammad, when people, boys said, and Mama named him Clay, so I'm gonna call him Clay. No, it's Muhammad Ali, brother. It's the Gulf of America. So that river goes all the way through. You know what I mean? And so many different states you could go to, and they have the Mississippi River because it comes all the way. It goes all the way through. So this is how things and goods the Indians got down from one area to the other area, all the way out, man. So yeah, that's definitely the superhighway. And if you sit there on the river in New Orleans and you watch all those barges and big ships come in and out with containers full of goods and stuff, and even all, you know, is the port city. You know that, living in Baltimore, you know what the port like, all that stuff coming and going in and out. So it's definitely one of those places that made New Orleans, when all the goods come in and the sailors come in and they dock right there. They got off that boat and they wanted to have a good time. So it was nothing but dancing, music, food. You know, some of them had ate good meals in months from being up and down the river all around the world. So that was one of the things that made New Orleans, is that river right there, you know.
And a lot of us don't know that there was a history to the Mississippi River that included people that we have no remnants of today. There was something going on in these lands in the year 1300, in the year 1100.
Oh, yeah.
1000. And quite likely they were Black Indians involved in that. In other words, long before Christopher Columbus got lost,
oh, yeah,
there were Moors, there were Blacks coming from Africa to the Americas, including up to the Gulf of
America,
Mexico.
The Gulf of America, man. Come on, say it.
You can call that thing Gulf of Mexico.
Say it with me, brother. Why you want to give the Gulf to Mexico?
Man, this man, I'm not doing that with you today, man. In the Gulf, and it was Indians, including the Mississippians, the Yamasee, the Chickasaw, the Choctaw, Black Indians. And Black Indians is a part of the culture that's celebrated during Mardi Gras.
Yes, sir. Black Indians is a huge part of New Orleans. You know, Mardi Gras, second lines, they come out. That's one thing you got to see, man. You know, them tribes actually go to war, boy. It ain't no joke. They make those suits for over a year, stitching the beadwork in it. All the beadwork tell a story of the. Oh man, it's awesome. That's one thing we gotta do a nice little dive in. I don't want to do it a disservice by brushing through it, but it's good to talk about what's actually going on. Black Indians. But people will tell you all up and down that Mississippi, they got mounds, little pyramids all the way up and down.
Mound pyramids. Look it up, y'all. Mound pyramids, over 450 in North America.
Do you know they found a pyramid under the water over there in off the coast. What part of Louisiana? Right, it's not far down. Right down here, it's a little bit further up north from us. A pyramid under the water. I forgot exactly what area that is, but I've been to it before. Not to the pyramid, but in that area before during the oil spill. You know when they had the big BP oil spill. I worked that oil spill, the whole cleanup effort. So we cleaned oil off the beach, off the wildlife. We corralled oil inside the Gulf and all over the place, man. That was a great experience. I wouldn't trade that for anything, man. We lived out there on the water. They had scouts that'll go out on the boats and come back and say, "Oh, we found oil." So then they'll go out and bring these big booms out and corral the oil, and then go try to clean it up. And then they'll bring the booms back to the barge, to the cleanup barge out there, and then they have to pressure wash the oil off the booms. And oh man, that was a massive thing, man. The oil spill. Anybody who worked that cleanup, they'll tell you, man, to see people mobilize to get something done, that thing was huge.
All right, Corey, we got to get out of here, but tell them how people can get in touch with you. Go ahead and do a plug. And can you tell us one more thing that entrepreneurs need to remember out here?
Something that the entrepreneurs need to remember. The entrepreneurs need to remember to support other entrepreneurs, network with other entrepreneurs, right? And then while you promoting them at your place, they'll promote you at their place, and help drum up more business. That's a major thing, man. Support the other entrepreneurs. If you want to help support us, come on down to 1303 Decatur Street in the French Quarters, and at Phat Vegans. If you want to find us on social media, Instagram is Phat Vegans NOLA. That's NOLA. New Orleans, Louisiana is what it stands for. Phat Vegans NOLA. I mean, we on that social media platform. We also, if you're in New Orleans and you're like, man, how could I want to order something? You can go to twophatvegans.com and order. Yeah, man, we out here. Phat Vegans NOLA. If you come on down, you get some of the best gumbo you had in your life. You want to be like, man, I didn't even know this wasn't meat in this thing.
Oh, don't forget the fried okra. Oh my God, I damn near fell out that chair on that fried okra, man.
I didn't know you do it like that. I just said, well, I see you eating it.
I left mine in the refrigerator too. Somebody ate they could have put it in the mail.
Oh, the fried okra?
Yes.
Yeah, man, we serve fried okra every day down there, man.
With a little remoulade sauce. What's in that sauce? Some chipotle sauce.
Nah, man, that's house made. We call it the river sauce.
The river sauce.
That's the river sauce.
I could eat that fried okra every day.
Hey, you know a lot of
let me find a woman who can cook that every day, every other day.
You know I sell that.
Ain't like I can't cook. I can cook.
You can cook, man. Hey, listen. I remember back in the days when I was eating meat, boy. Me and you sit down and make them greens with that smoked turkey in it, and drink a big old cup of that pot liquor.
Won't give away the secret, son.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. That was good.
Thank you for being my brother, man. Big ups to the Phat Vegan family and all of the people that work for you and made our Black Wall Street NOLA a success, man. To God be the glory. And we can't wait to bring you back, man. I can't wait to come back. This time, hey, let me tell you something, y'all. What can happen, what can go wrong will go wrong, but ain't nothing like knowing somebody on the ground, because
yes, sir.
It was getting a little tricky trying to get up out of there.
Yeah,
Pharaoh was calling me at home, said, "Come on now, stop playing. You gone too long."
Hey, you got to see if Pharaoh give you permission to come back down for Essence. You know that's coming up.
I do.
Essence Festival, boy. That thing gonna be nice.
Well, this should be the best one for you ever, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. This should be big. I was open last year. I had a little bit of groove last year, but this
I
year,
want you to get it all this year. So get some
oh yeah.
flyers out there over at the Essence Fest.
Oh, we ready for them this year. We ready for them this year. You know what I mean? So this gonna be a real good one. If you could break away, man, that would be a perfect time to come. Essence, you gotta come not on business. Just come down, just to enjoy yourself. See, yeah, I know you like me.
I'm an entrepreneur, man. That's all I do.
You like me. Every day is a work day.
Every day is business.
Yeah, every day is a work day.
I know how to take a break.
Yeah. For a second, you ain't taking no breaks like that. But yeah, man. You know when you get into your own business, you get your own business. Like, man, now I don't have to work for nobody. They don't really tell you working for yourself is harder than working for somebody else. You don't get no off days. When you're at home, you're still at work. You know what I mean? You know how when you work for somebody else, once you punch that clock and walk out the door, it's your time. You're going to do what you want. You're going home. When you work for yourself, your home is the home office. If you got an outside office, you never not at work. Your personal phone is now the business phone. Yeah, you on the clock 24/7. You around the clock. You on call. It never stops. So, but I tell you what, the freedom to be able to control your own clock is nothing like it, right? You control your clock. You may work all the time, every day, but if something happen and you say, well, I gotta go do this, you ain't gotta ask no permission. You ain't gotta fill out no slips. You can go handle your business. So to control your own clock is the biggest thing. Man, people, it's the best feeling, brother.
The most impressive, the most expensive thing you can own is your time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Your time. You can't beat that. You cannot be controlling your own clock.
Be able to do what you want, when you want, how you want. That's power.
Yeah, well, guess what? Sometimes you got to sell your time to other people till you're able to control the clock. You know what I mean? And that's
Sell
what I
high.
did.
Sell as high as you can sell. All right, we got to get out of here, Corey. I can do this all day. But whoever ate my fried okra, I want them to replace it. Seriously, stop playing. I know you ate it.
But they got it. All you got to do is come pick it up whenever you're ready.
All right.
All right.
Much love, man. Thank you for being my friend.
Thank you.
Good morning, world.
Thank you for being my brother.
Always.
All right, bro.
Talk soon.